when you have 21 minutes to speak, 2 million years seems like a really long time, but evolutionarily, 2 million years is nothing. And yet in 2 million years, the human brain has nearly tripled in mass, going from the 1¼ pound brain of our ancestor here, Habilis, to the almost 3-pound meatloaf that everybody here has between their ears. What is it about a big brain that nature was so eager for every one of us to have one? Well, it turns out when brains triple in size, they don't just get 3 times bigger, they gain new structures. And one of the main reasons that our brain got so big is because it got a new part called the frontal lobe, and particularly a part called the prefrontal cortex. Now, what does the prefrontal cortex do for you that should justify the entire architectural overhaul of the human skull in the blink of evolutionary time? Well, turns out the prefrontal cortex does lots of things, but one of the most important things it does is it is an experience simulator. Pilots practice in flight simulators so that they don't make real mistakes in planes. Human beings have this marvelous adaptation that they can actually have experiences in their heads before they try them out in real life. This is a trick that none of our ancestors could do, that no other animal can do quite like we can. It's a marvelous adaptation. It's up there with opposable thumbs and standing upright in language as one of the things that got our species out of the trees and into the shopping mall. Now, all of you have done this. I mean, Ben & Jerry's doesn't have liver and onion ice cream, and it's not because they whipped some up, tried it, and went yuck. It's because without leaving your armchair, you can simulate that flavor and say yuck before you make it. Let's see how your experience simulators are working. Let's just run a quick diagnostic before I proceed with the rest of the talk. Here's 2 different futures that I invite you to contemplate, and you can try to simulate them and tell me which one you think you might prefer. One of them is winning the lottery. This is about $314 million. And the other is becoming paraplegic. So just give it a moment of thought. You probably don't feel like you need a moment of thought. And interestingly, there are data on these 2 groups of people, data on how happy they are. And this is exactly what you expected, isn't it? But these aren't the data. I made these up. These are the data. You failed the pop quiz and you're hardly 5 minutes into the lecture. Because the fact is that a year after losing the use of their legs and a year after winning the lotto, lottery winners and paraplegics are equally happy with their lives. Now, don't feel too bad about failing the first pop quiz because everybody fails all of the pop quizzes all of the time. The research that my laboratory has been doing, that economists and psychologists around the country have been doing, have revealed something really quite startling to us. Something we call the impact bias, which is the tendency for the simulator to work badly. For the simulator to make you believe that different outcomes are more different than in fact they really are. From field studies to laboratory studies, we see that winning or losing an election, gaining or losing a romantic partner, getting or not getting a promotion, passing or not passing a college test, on, have far less impact, less intensity, and much less duration than people expect them to have. Now, in fact, a recent study, this almost floors me, a recent study showing how major life traumas affect people suggests that if it happened over 3 months ago with only a few exceptions, it has no impact whatsoever on your happiness. Why? Because happiness can be synthesized. Sir Thomas Browne wrote in 1642, "I am the happiest man alive. I have that in me that can convert poverty to riches, adversity to prosperity. I am more invulnerable than Achilles' fortune hath not one place to hit me." What kind of remarkable machinery does this guy have in his head? Well, it turns out it's precisely the same remarkable machinery that all of us have. Human beings have something that we might think of as a psychological immune system, a system of cognitive processes, largely non-conscious cognitive processes, that help them change their views of the world so that they can feel.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good to see you. I thought we'd kick off with I'm really going to encourage you to kind of continue listening to an excellent piece on happiness. And actually, it's the brain of science behind bringing joy. And you can see your speaker opened up with a conversation about how the brain has evolved over time, blah, blah, blah. But if you just joined us, good morning. Today is October 18th, 2019. It's Friday. Good to see a full house here today. Wow, we've got Bree, Sabrina, Kiara, Crystal, good morning, and Sean, good morning, and Alexis, good morning, everybody. Okay, good morning. So I'm going to keep the screen up, and really, I had a couple images that I was thinking about today, and really, this is one of those moments I'm going to call a check up from the neck up moment, and I'm going to ask you to participate privately today. It's one of those pieces, I think, when our webinar is over, I'd still like you to stay on this piece and finish and share out today. So keep that in mind. We have already, for those who don't know, most of, if not all of, every component of our webinar that is literacy related, which is the reading, writing, listening, speaking, any activities that you share out, we gave a number of 10, can have a huge impact on your English course. So for example, for you submitting up to 10 with a marking period 2 weeks away, 10 literacy pieces from webinars, I will exempt up to a third, huge piece, up to a third of your English course can be exempt on the module or coinciding with an individual project plan. Been really pushing that out all week. If you want to have more clarity on what does that mean, let's set up a private one-on-one and I can kind of explain it to you. And one of those pieces we're doing today will be suffice called Take Your Pulse. We'll talk much about that later. Really opened up. Today's Take Your Pulse has a lot to do with the TED Talk Speak that you saw. If you just joined us, I heard some of you just joined as I was wrapping up. And I really encourage you to watch the rest of this today. It's only, it is 20 minutes. For those who aren't familiar with TED Talks, TED stands for Technology, Education, and Development. And it's a concept in which experts from around the world, teens included, your age, to elderly folks with a variety of experiences have a message to share. And in that message, you're limited to the amount of time you share. And there's really, actually, technically, there's a TED Talk format, which if anybody is, I have one student who's working on a English 10 project utilizing TED Talk format, and they'll be pushing out their message through the TED Talk format. So if you want to know more about that, I'll share later. But today is Friday. A lot is happening out in the milieu. If you were here today, you would see the Haunted Hayride Wolfpack Den being built. It's going to be showcased today at our all-school meeting. Look forward to a Facebook post tonight. I'm going to talk more about that and our credit recovery over the weekend, so there'll be some posts about that. So we're going to have a much later all-school assembly today, which we're going to profile the den. If you want to check out the den this Saturday at, I don't even have it on our agenda today, but this Saturday at 7 p.m., great fundraiser that we're doing for the Wolfpack Den for, I think it's called Connection, which is for substance abuse, addiction, and really trying to support their cause. So we got a great activity going out there this Saturday, Cartier Park in Ludington. Get down there and check it out. So if you live in Ludington area, check it out. I'm going to be coming home from Grand Rapids, and I'll be out there, obviously, what else? Making a video. So I hope you can make it out there coming up. So with that said, I also, today is a little reflective for me. And I'm going to be a little vulnerable here today, sharing a little bit about my pulse and really asking you to participate privately. It's not going to be a shared document. It's one that you're going to open up to yourself. But this image is an image taken back in 1964. Yes, way long time ago. I was a wee little one. But that man on the far right is my father. He was a young, strapping 30-some-year-old at the time who really, truly loved the Civil War. And he always kind of would say over time, I just felt I was born in the wrong era. I could go on and on about this image, but this image is really a part of the reflection today about checking your pulse and where are you at with yourself, your family, relationships, and maybe even school. Has a huge impact on the work that we do here at G2S. So I've got that. This picture will probably make more sense to you as I reveal a little story today about my father or a little bit of the activity that I may ask you to reflect on those people in your life. So this picture was very common. It was very common for me to grow up. Our family in the 60s, you didn't really travel a lot, but we did. And my father would come home on a Friday night, more than likely from a job he really didn't like, but made great money, but yet we were doing okay. But he actually walked away from that job to become a teacher, which meant less pay at the time. And so he could pursue his passion of becoming a teacher because he was so enamored by the Civil War. And this is a picture of him before he became a teacher. He would travel out east with us and the family on Friday. I'd wake up an all-night trip, and I'd be in the middle of a Gettysburg or Sharpsburg reenactment where my father and his buddies there would go and reenact part of the Civil War. So we would travel along in our pop-up trailer, and I'd have the smell of musket fire and home cooking, and it was just like going back in time over 130 years ago. So pretty cool for me to grow up in that kind of environment. So the reason I'm sharing that with you, because today, I really, number one, I want to encourage you to watch the rest of Piece of a Happiness, because it's a lot about the brain behind what gives us joy. But I'm not going to really be labor the moment, but I want to remind all of you that these documents that I have up every day, I asked you the question in blue: how's your progress in your coursework? Good morning. I see someone just joined us this morning. But also keep this in mind. I've asked you to think about the 4 Wendy's. I've had 4 entries into that. So if you still want to partake in short-term goals, set those with me and we'll chat. But I also want to throw out to everybody, anybody who completes 5 out of 4, that's 4 out of 5, I never was good at math. 4 out of 5 of your classes, October 23rd is the end of the marking period, you're in for a free Wendy's lunch. So on top of the 4 for 4 Wendy's, you get 4 out of 5. That's an extra 4 for 4. So there's a possibility of some of you out there winning 2 lunches, 4 for 4 Wendy's. Not a bad idea. So think about that. So more on that next week. I'll be pushing that topic out a little bit more. What questions may you have so far about the goal, about Wendy's, about the end of the marking period? Anybody? Pausing. All right. Hey, I want everybody right now, if you would click on called Take Your Pulse under Mr. Quinlan. Don't hit the one on students yet. Would you right now on your webinar click on Take Your Pulse, and you should open up a shared piece that looks like this. Once again, not only is this a big piece of your literacy and application toward your English course, but it's also a great exercise for you to do. Does anybody have any difficulty opening this up?
Yes.
What do you see when you try to open it up?
Yeah, it won't let me open it.
Correct.
It says copy document.
Oh, you know what? Here's what the knucklehead Quinlan forgot to do. All right. I forgot to open that to the world. Okay, okay, so here's what I want you to do. My apologies. First mistake ever. All right. Don't believe that one. All right. Now, refresh if you would, or I'm going to just refresh my Canvas. Okay, see how I just refreshed Canvas? If you want to do that, you can. I'll give you a moment to do that. Some of you already got in. Then click on Take Your Pulse. So I saw someone already popped in. And ta-da, it should be available to you. I thought I saw one person open it up. Okay, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. So it looks like we have Breeze in, Crystal, Sabrina, and Alexis is good. Did anybody else have any difficulty with that? I'm turning my volume up. I don't know if someone's trying to speak. All right. So, hey, it was great to see yesterday 3 of you submitted literacy piece. So if you're kind of still confused about this, what it means is any activity such as this that includes any reading, writing, listening, speaking, videos, reflections, small writing, whatever it may be, you partake in it and then share it in the upper right-hand corner in the blue. Share it with me, and our goal is to get 10 is the goal, but if you get 9, 10 of these literacy pieces will be taken off of a module or individual project plan. So that's quite a deal. Chatted with most of our teachers of record and English departments, so that would be fantastic. So Awesome. So here is what today's Pulse is all about. It's kind of what I call my checkup from the neck up. And I know for a fact, this is something you should probably do on a daily basis. I'm going to explain to you why and how it is important. The video you were watching, some of you got in, was talking about the brain and the science behind the brain in creating joyfulness, mindfulness, and reflection of where you're at in your life. I'm telling you, folks, it can transform if you stick with it with this habit. It truly does. And really take an inventory on a daily, weekly, or monthly, or even annually is real vital for your own personal growth. You know, for your own personal growth, peace of mind, joyfulness, and your overall health. Feeling good about your physically, mentally aspect of yourself, body, mind, soul. Now, what I really like to do is this it's a practice, and I'm going to model for you, and I had to be pretty reflective. I did this early in the morning. I did it in kind of some deep thought. I was in a quiet room. I had a little bit of music playing down in my basement, but it really got me thinking about where I need to get better at. So I'm going to, if you don't mind, I'm going to kind of span this a little bit. Maybe that's too much. Okay, here we go. So looking at the 4 areas of your life, your personal growth, relationships, family, and school, I'm going to ask you to do the same thing on that other document. So basically, look at your own self personally. And I just wrote 2, 3 on some of them. It's an opportunity to say, where are you at right now? And notice, this isn't to be shared with anybody. If you want to share with me, that's great for credit. And you put in a note, please don't look. I'm telling you what, I will honor that. I'll say it again. If you want to share with me just to get the literacy credit, then write a note in there, please do not look. I will look at it, make a note on, I'm taking a log of that, and I will trash it. I will delete it. I will honor your request if that's important to you. So I can understand that. So in my case, I'm going to be a little vulnerable. Here we go. I had to this morning, where I'm at personally, I had this thing called affirmations, and I reevaluated what it is. It's something I say to myself. I literally read it out loud, and I'm struggling with that component right now. And there's also another component of your personal growth has to do with what kind of routine that you create for yourself. And I've been talking to you often about, is the day controlling you, or are you controlling your day? And I think all of us, I know all of us, for example, want to have control of your day. There's many factors of the day we can't. So I'm still struggling with that. I'm struggling with that, meaning, am I taking the time to carve out in that early period of my day to set my mind on what I have to do? And today was one of those cases I really didn't do a very good job of, in which I wanted to either do my affirmations or even think and plan my day. That's what I'm talking about. My relationships and how I impact others, because I can't control anything that comes into me. I really can't control how other people are impacting me. I only can control how I respond to it. And same goes for you. There's something called OCL application. And it's something I'm working very hard at, and I'm very proud. It's called Our Community Listens. It's really an amazing way how you can really apply listening skills to your life. I'm doing this every interaction I have with people, and you don't even realize it. But it's helping me be more mindful about shut up. I hate that word shut up, by the way. Be quiet, be still, and be a better listener. And I try to do that every single person I talk to. I miss my children. I miss my kids. I have 3 daughters. They're 30, 31, 28, and 26. I miss them dearly. They're all over the country. So, it's where I'm at. I'd like to see them more, but it's difficult because they're working on their lives too. So I think I'm getting better, being a better listener in my relationships with other people. But I reach out to my daughters sometimes on a daily basis, where I bug them all the time just to say, hey, I love you, proud of you. So as far as my family dynamics, I, like probably you, if you have a pulse, you've got issues. My wife has recently retired. It's a new change for us, a new normal. Coming home, leaving, is kind of cool. I'm really proud of her and happy for her. So my dynamic and my immediate family, the people important to me, I'm really happy in that sense with her. I'm struggling with my siblings. Communication with my brothers and sisters doesn't seem to be important. I'm not blaming anybody. I got to do a better job, but it's something that I personally am not a real place where I like to be. My parents' health is a concern to me. My father, I showed that picture. He's not doing well at all. I don't mind sharing with the class. My father is on a blood medication that's really impacting its chemotherapy. And so he's 82 years old. He's struggling, and going to get down there and see him this weekend. So it's on my mind, man. These are issues. I got a pulse. And my mom, who had kidney transplant, diabetic, she's stronger than ever and still struggling in her health too. So I'm lucky and fortunate I have both my parents alive who are in their early 80s. So I too, like you, have daily struggles and challenges. I try to be the best version of myself, and I work at it daily. And finally, the work I do here at G2S, I'm very proud, but I'm not satisfied.
Sure.
Now, I'm proud, but I'm not satisfied. I know I could do better. I'm probably my own worst enemy. I don't know if you feel that same way about yourself. It's something that I feel I could do more and better. And the second item I put on there, managing context, is very stressful to me. I get frustrated with myself that I can't see and talk to you all every day as often as I want, being your virtual coach. That's important to me. And I know it's important to you when you need help, that someone is there and answers within a time. And that stresses me out a little bit, because I try to do the best I can, and sometimes I can't. But I also feel strongly in the last affirmation that I'd like you to reflect on is, like, I feel I'm in a good place. I feel I love my work. I love where I work. I love the work I do with you. I use that word love often. I really, truly do. It gives me a sense of peace. So I'm in a good place, surrounded by great people I work with. Are you in a good place? Are you surrounding yourself with the people that sharpen you? Take a moment today, do a little checkup from the neck up. And I'd love for you if you would share it only with me, because when you open up yours, this is private. You're not going to have, basically what you'll do is you click on yours, you'll have a copy at your own private note. It's not a shared doc. Make a copy of it, fill it out, and if anything, do this for you. Just write it down. I guarantee you get a better idea of where you're at, where you want to go, and where you what will hold in your future. So if you want to share it with me, I'd love it. I mean, not only will I count it. If you don't want me to read it, don't. If you want me to read it, I'd love to, and I will not share with anybody else. So I want to just really push that out today on this Friday. Today this isn't our guest speaker series. Next week we do have a guest speaker. I was going to announce that a little bit. It's actually between two people. Both of them can do it. And I got to find out which one do you want. So I'll be talking a little bit about that next week. They can both do it next Friday. It's actually a nice problem. So, hey, folks, don't forget, if you're in Ludington area, we'd love to have you at the Wolf Den. What's it called? The Haunted Hayride is this Saturday at Cartier Park in Ludington. G2S Academy's class is going to be out there. The milieu is getting it all set up. Looks pretty cool out there. So if you're in the area, we'd love to have you. Okay? Final thoughts. All right. Hey, folks, please contact me today. Love to hear from you, and have a great, safe weekend. I've got to go. Got to hit the road. We'll talk to you soon, all right? Good seeing you all. Take care.